Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm sorry, last week I didn't film a video because it was my birthday. I wanted to take time to rest and celebrate, to eat some cake, which I have some of right now. Can we take a moment to celebrate the fact that Magnolia Bakery delivers cakes all over the United States? I've waited so long for this moment. So I decided that I would just come back this week with a topic that I love, which is vintage retro style from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. Those times were gold when it comes to fashion, and I actually have done a video talking about some styling tricks from that time that I believe are so underrated and deserving of a comeback. If you want to, you can check it out here. And today is a continuation of that video where we're going to talk about a few pieces that for some reason have fallen out of use, have been a little bit forgotten, but that totally deserve a comeback. So along with my cake, I have some tea. And now we can begin. Beginning with, I think, my favorite piece from this video, the cocktail dress. Now you're gonna say, Mari, everybody has a cocktail dress in their wardrobes. Every designer makes them every season. I know, but when was the last time you saw a woman wearing a proper cocktail dress to go out in the evening? You always see people in their separates, perhaps the same outfit they wore to the office, just zhuzhed up a little bit for dinner afterwards. It's totally fine. It's not a problem, but I do think that we have forgotten the power of a good cocktail dress, the way that it makes us feel feminine, the way that it makes and marks an occasion, the fact that you are actually wearing something for just the sake of feeling pretty and not the practicality of making the most out of one piece. These were clearly very popular in the 50s. You think of the Stark Club, you think of those very classic New York restaurants and hotel bars that marked a time and that called people to put their best foot forward when it came to style. One moment that comes in mind to me is Audrey Hepburn in Sabrina when she's going out with Humphrey Bogart and she's just wearing this beautiful Givenchy, I think it is a taffeta kind of black dress with two bows, one on each shoulder, and a headpiece. The headpiece, I understand, is asking too much, so let's keep with the beautiful cocktail dress. But my point is, it just feels glamorous. It feels like you're just going to have a great time just by wearing a dress like that. But you can also think about the flappers in the 20s. They would go to dinner in amazing beaded kind of French dresses, then go out dancing. So it had a sort of a fantasy. The dressing for evening wear at that time wasn't just reserved for weddings, wasn't just reserved for those extremely formal occasions. People saw going out as a celebration in itself. And I think we should totally bring that back. This is very easy to do. You don't need a lot of cocktail dresses. You could have just a nice little black dress or perhaps something in color that is complementary to your color palette. There are so many other areas in our lives where we need to be practical. Cocktail hour should not be one of them. Piece number 2 is the bolero jacket. This one I feel is a bit controversial because it is something that is not easy to decode when it comes to proportions, but especially for us who love wearing a high waist, a bolero jacket is, I would say, the perfect pairing when it comes to a layer over that, because you are not covering the lower section of your body. You're actually just leaving everything to its place, elongating that waist even more, but creating interest on the top. I love bolero jackets from the 30s. I find that also the 40s had amazing iterations of this as well. It's very much a forgotten style of jacket in my opinion. We see cropped jackets a lot, but those are still a little bit too long. A bolero would cut almost around your rib cage, so would give you a lot of playroom when it comes to waistline. Throw a bolero jacket with some beautiful high-waisted palazzo pants and a shirt, and you just look like $1,000. It's zero effort, but it creates that illusion of being truly well dressed. And since I've mentioned shirts, can we make statement shirts a thing again? Like a beautiful, decorated, thought out design of a shirt that substitutes any other thing that you need to add, so you don't need to accessorize too much, you don't need to add layers. The shirt is the main attraction. I love beautiful shirts from the 40s and the 50s, also into the 60s as well. I think we have seen a lot of beautiful additions and renditions of something that might be a basic in a closet, but that can be truly transformed into something much more interesting and fashionable. Different types of sleeves, like a bishop sleeve, like a bell sleeve, a little cap sleeve as well, is something that would be lovely for spring, summer. Maybe some interesting colors as well, like a sailor collar, a Peter Pan collar, a little possible collar, a keyhole. I mean, there are so many things you can do with a shirt. You can add decorations like pleating, like lace detailing, like a tuxedo bib. I just think shirts should really get more attention. We see Oxford shirts all the time, oversized, kind of relaxed fits, but those don't really hold their own. So a beautiful crafted shirt, I think, should make a huge comeback. The car coat. Now that we're getting into the colder months and we have seen every type of coat being trendy in the last couple of years, we have seen kind of wrap coats, we have seen double-breasted, we have seen trench coats, but the car coat really needs its moment to shine. That trapeze silhouette, that slightly shorter hemline, the raglan sleeves, it just adds glamour to any outfit. I have one and I have to say I wear it much more than I thought I would originally. It is a silhouette that can travel a lot through different occasions. It can be made as something that elevates a casual outfit, but it also pairs beautifully with something more dressed up, such as a cocktail dress. It has movement. The fact that it has more fabric looks more luxurious and a little bit more made to measure. I have one in tan. I would love to add a fun color, perhaps a kind of sapphire or maybe an emerald green, even a burgundy or a red. I would love to find something like that. If I don't find it on retail, I'll probably find something vintage, because let's face it, nobody's bold enough nowadays to make these from scratch. We have to go to thrift stores and vintage stores to find good things, but it's worth the hunt. I think it's something that is cozy, will keep you warm, but won't look like you're being a slob in winter time. It will actually make you look like you know what you're doing. Something else that people don't usually have the guts to sport out, but that when they do, it does make a statement, is statement gloves. Every time I throw on my leopard print gloves or my elbow length gloves, people just are puzzled and they are shocked and they comment on it. Maybe they make fun of me behind my back, but I don't care, because I know they wish they were just wearing something as fabulous. And I'm not saying I am a fabulous person, I'm saying the gloves are fabulous. People used to think about their outfits from head to toe. That is something we talked about in that previous video. Dressing up wasn't just something people did day in and day out monotonously with no care. It was something that they thought about because it reflected who they were, their dignity, their respectability, their values, what they wanted to achieve. It also reflected respect for other people, for the environment they were in. So even though it seems like a silly, overthinking detail, having that mindset of being particular about every single element of what you're wearing can be a positive thing. You don't have to become obsessive, you don't have to be extremely vain about it, but just giving it the time of day, such as, should I get a pair of decorative gloves, can make a huge difference. Stylish, presentable sleepwear. This I love because it reminds me of my grandmother. I don't know if yours used to say the same thing, but my grandma always said, you're supposed to sleep in something that you wouldn't feel guilty leaving the house in case there is a fire, in case you have to go on an ambulance, you never know. And my grandma came from a generation where looking presentable was a huge deal. So she had her little house coats, she had her little peignoirs, she had her nightgowns that were decorated. It was never just a t-shirt with holes in it. And just like with the cocktail dress that sets the tone of the occasion, wearing something nice to go to sleep sets the tone for your night. So you're not just wandering around the house, slobbing, looking like a hobo. Your children are seeing you, your husband is seeing you. Wouldn't it be nice to look inspiring even when it's time to go to bed? You know, back in the day, it would be kind of like lounging pajamas. They would have even beautiful sort of kimono style ones in silk. You would have lace. Some Hollywood actresses would even sport feathers and pom-poms on their slippers. I'm not saying we have to go that far, but just having a beautiful nighttime wardrobe for sleepwear is a huge deal in my opinion. Having matching sets, having beautiful prints that convey something a bit more aesthetic than just the name of a football team. You know, the little things. Last but not least, bracelet length sleeves. I think these are the most elegant lengths of sleeve you could ever find. Again, seems very specific, but when you throw it on and throw on a bracelet, it makes all of the difference in the world. That little space between your wrist and the beginning of the sleeve can carry so much elegance and so much intentionality when it comes to dressing that it seems too easy. It seems like a trick, but it's not. It's reality. Trust me. I'm kind of a stickler when it comes to lengths. The length of a skirt, the length of pants, the length of sleeves. The difference between a beautifully tailored look and something that looks generic and not made for you can be made by the difference of a few inches. If this sweater was a little bit longer on the sleeves, I bet it wouldn't look as nice. I bet it wouldn't catch your eye. I bet I wouldn't even have bought it. But the fact that it has a little bit of breathing room might as well be miles. It's a length that beautifully showcases more gracious kind of movement of hands. It's a length that is not going to be flopping around with excess fabric everywhere. It's a length that is not going to cover your fingers, which I think is one of the most unflattering things that you could possibly wear. It's delicate, it's feminine, it's just that tiny detail that makes a world of a difference. This is it, everyone. These are the items from retro/vintage past decades style that I believe totally deserve a comeback in 2025. If you guys have anything to add to that list, leave a comment down below because I love reading your comments. My last video got so many comments. I had so much fun reading through them. We talked about my style icks, so if you haven't checked that out, click here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see each other again next time. Bye bye.